Hey, my soul tribes, this is Solstice here, and in this session, my client, who is a starseed, travels to what she calls the Galactic Exchange Center. In the process, as we follow her travels, we actually learn some predictions of when the new Earth will be here and how it will come about. And then later in the session, we get some answers to some of her questions. She wanted to know how she could feel more connected to divine and stay in the present moment. She gets some guidance for her purpose here on planet Earth and how she can trust herself more. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and I'm sharing quantum healing session stories. And in this particular one, a starseed client came to me and she discovered a parallel life in the Sirian Star System.
I feel like I'm off planet. Somewhere in the cosmos.
Are you just floating in the cosmos?
No, it feels like it's on another planet.
Okay. Tell me what you see around you. What's around you?
I just like I see the cosmos like I'm on a different planet, but I'm looking at the cosmos.
So do you sense yourself to have a body?
Yeah.
What does your body look like?
It definitely looks blue, and I feel bald and really tall and naked. Very big head. I feel feminine, but potentially androgynous.
What does it feel like to be on this planet?
Feels like I'm exploring or almost investigating something. Like I'm retrieving data.
So you don't live on this planet?
It doesn't feel like I live there. It feels like I'm on a quest.
What does the planet look like? Just look down at the ground. What does the ground look like? I feel like.
I don't really know how to describe it. It just feels like it doesn't feel like there's civilization here. It feels like it's a planet that was created that I'm trying to figure out how to create another planet. So it's like I'm investigating the particles, or I'm investigating the minerals, but it doesn't feel like where I'm at there's like civilization. It feels like I'm testing something, or I'm just communicating with the material.
And that's so that you can create another planet like it?
That's what it feels like. Or I might be retrieving something from this planet to help my planet. But it's like I need resources.
How did you get to this planet? From your planet?
I'm hearing starship.
So there aren't any other beings that live on this planet, it's just minerals and resources?
From what I've gathered, yeah. And it's many light years away from where my home planet is. I'm getting I might even be investigating to see if that planet's habitable. So it's kind of like I was sent on a quest to see if what is there is habitable for my people, or if we could create new life potentially there.
And why is that? Is your planet not habitable anymore?
I'm just hearing ready for expansion and creation.
What is your role on this planet?
I'm hearing to create life.
What is your role on your home planet?
To sustain life.
Are there others with you from your planet? Or just you?
It feels kind of like a solo trip, but I also feel like there might be one or two other beings there, but they're not investigating with me, so they might be like in the starship, but I feel like it's just me kind of scoping things out. And I'm hearing vagabond, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Like a galactic traveler or something.
Sounds kind of cool. So what happens next?
I'm seeing my hands. It's like very long fingers, and it's like 2 fingers and a thumb, or 3 fingers and a thumb, and it's very long. Yeah, there's just not much just besides me like kind of feeling the material and just like communicating with it. It's almost like we're having a telepathic exchange.
How will you get back on your starship and go back to your home planet? Are you home now?
Yeah, it feels like I arrived.
What does your home planet feel like?
Feels like beauty, architecture, sacredness, spiritual training, creation, co-creation. It's all collaboration. Everyone working in unison, but still having their own individual roles.
Beautiful. They all have blue skin and are tall like you?
It's an intermingling of different species. I'm hearing Intergalactic Exchange Center. But I know that was the intention of Earth, so I'm not sure why I'm hearing that. Because it's not Earth. It feels like serious.
What does the architecture look like?
I'm seeing a lot of like domes, like white domes. very just advanced, futuristic. A lot of like glass, so like the lighting's coming through. And it's not like the lighting we have here. The lighting feels very different. It feels darker, but it's not like dark. But it's definitely different lighting.
Different sun?
Yeah.
Or different distance from their sun?
Mm-hmm. And it feels like it's thriving.
So is the whole planet like a big city with domes? Or is there... What else does that look like?
I'm just seeing kind of like one area. And also there's water as well. Yeah, where I'm at, it feels more established. Not that it's like in a meadow or a forest, although nature is a part of everything. Like it feels like the birds and the butterflies and like nature spirits are all like a part of everything. It doesn't feel like the civilization took away nature. It feels like it's all coexisting.
Do you have any friends, or are you just friends with everybody, or is there a specific group that you spend a lot of time with?
It feels like I'm friends with everyone, like everyone knows everyone. And it feels kind of like people know what I'm doing, like, how'd the trip go, kind of a thing. Like, there's an understanding of what's happening for the greater good, almost.
So you exploring this other planet isn't out of taking, but out of creating. Like it's to use to like expand out to. It's not done in a, I guess, malevolent way. I guess is what I'm saying. It's a benevolent.
Right. It's
expansion.
it's all been orchestrated. Like there's a plan.
And why do you need to expand out?
I'm hearing to recreate.
Just more of what already is, or something new?
Just to be a creator.
Just for the fun of it? The fun of creating?
Oh, let's see if there's something else. An aspect of it feels like a prototype planet. Like trying to recreate what we've already created.
Because it worked out so well.
Yeah. It's an opportunity to expand consciousness than what it has been expanded before. So being able to recreate from our vibration versus descending into lower frequencies to recreate. It's like recreating at the vibration we're already at. And then expanding from there.
So has that been done before, or has never been done before?
That's what was done with Earth.
There was no dissension initially? There's no need to descend. That's what you're saying, initially.
Right, it's like a higher prototype of Earth without descending.
You're saying it was what was done with Earth, like past tense.
Right, Earth was a prototype.
Then what happened?
Earth was just an experiment. But we're wanting to recreate from a higher level.
On this other planet?
Mm-hmm.
And that's never been done before, or that has been done before? To recreate from a higher level?
From my own awareness, it doesn't feel like it feels new, but it feels possible. So I'm not sure how often or frequent it happens. But it doesn't feel like there's a lot to go off of other than Earth.
And what is it about Earth that you can use to go off of?
We created Earth. We designed it and architected it.
So, but Earth was where you had a descension first and then rising up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to try to do it differently now.
We want to keep our consciousness. We don't want to have to lose it or forget it.
Okay. Is there anything else important that we need to know about this scene or this place? This experience?
I'm hearing this is you right now. So me on another parallel timeline is doing that right now.
And how is Earth in that parallel timeline?
She's healing. She feels better. People are remembering and connecting back with nature. It feels like 2060.
That's a parallel timeline, 2060?
Right, so whatever I'm tapping into, it feels like 2060 is when it feels like that on Earth. Where things are in harmony and balance again. And people are no longer destroying the mother because of their separation from the father. That's why they destroy the mothers, because they've been separated from the father.
Right.
But then they remembered. And it feels like there's a mix of species on Earth at this time, of intergalactic species who can now live on Earth. The humans have expanded enough to accept different species. And it took a lot of collective healing.
So it's like there's an aspect of you on Earth, and then there's an aspect of you that is blue and tall, different fingers. simultaneously, right?
Yeah, but the version of me, of her, is looking at Earth as if it were 2060, as if it were present. Because where she is, time doesn't exist.
Right.
But the version of Earth that she's connected with is around that timeline.
Okay.
Or at least when she's doing all this investigating, is around that timeline.
So basically they had success with Earth and now they're ready to like create something new on a different planet.
Yeah, it feels like almost like a completion of a mission or a project that now she can expand from what she learned from that project and can now create something better.
Mm-hmm.
That souls who have graduated from Earth or who are ready for higher experiences can then live on those different realities or those different timelines. They don't have to repeat the cycles. And I'm also getting that the amnesia isn't as strong on Earth, that souls being born onto Earth are remembering, which is why Earth was able to progress in such a seemingly short time, because each generation came with more of their DNA online.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily the people who are there who are changing it, it's the souls that are being born who are bringing in the higher vibrations of remembrance, which is changing the vibration of the collective.
So basically the old generations naturally died off and no longer were holding the vibration down.
Right.
Because that's a long time, enough that a lot of people wouldn't live that long.
It's a new species almost. It's a new human. Higher consciousness. Free will.
And is that the main way that we were able to get to that place of more harmony on planet Earth, just because of the new generations that didn't have amnesia?
Right, we needed higher frequencies to be embedded on Earth. Because the level of consciousness of the souls that were already there didn't fully have the capacity to expand beyond what they knew.
Mm-hmm.
They still got the perfect experience they needed.
Mm-hmm.
But there were other souls and volunteers who were ready for the next level work.
Mm-hmm. Did some of these ones that came in without the amnesia still have a really hard time with the older souls that were still there? To get to where they were?
There's an adjustment period for maybe 10 to 20 years. But as they keep coming in, the collective is educated on what is happening, and so because there's the demand, there's like the education, there's the awareness, there's the understanding, there's the resources for them to be able to live and to thrive. But their vibration naturally raises the vibration of the generation they were born into, because they're the actual teachers, not the people before them.
Right.
And the families they're born into, they don't have a choice. Their frequency has to adjust. Like, there's no option. Like, you can't miss a child with their DNA fully activated, because they're just beings of light. They're a different kind of species. You can't ignore what is there. And so it's almost like a automatic awakening to where their vibration raises that of those that they enter in through. It's a code exchange.
And why wasn't this done sooner?
The planet couldn't uphold it.
So the parents that are having these high frequency children can handle being expanding with that frequency, but parents in the 70s or whatever couldn't have.
The level of consciousness wasn't available.
To have those kind of children.
Right? It would have been more detrimental than beneficial. But each generation teetered in with a little bit higher level of consciousness. And now there's going to be almost what feels like a jump, but the actual next logical step.
Is there anything else that we need to understand, or something important to understand about this scene? About this?
I'm getting that hybridization is inevitable. Intermingling of species is inevitable. And in order to remember your true divinity and that we are all one, we must see each other for the different aspects that we get to live. In order to accept the one, we must accept the all.
And how is this hybridization different than, like, what I understand the Greys to be doing with taking humans and by force making them hybridize?
With every species, there's malevolent and benevolent beings. But the malevolent is going to be something far off in the distance.
What do you mean by that? Far off in the distance?
They won't be relevant because the hybridization is for the highest good of all, and it will be used in the highest light. Malevolent beings won't last because their vibration can't contain living in that energetic anymore. And her name actually came to me a week ago. It's Soreya.
Soreya.
Like Soreya. Soreya. And she's like a higher aspect of me, but like a guide at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So in this lifetime, she feels separate. Is there anything else you can suggest on how she can, like, feel more connected?
I'm hearing devote yourself to the divine. See everything as sacred. Treat everything as sacred and holy. We devalue things or people, but everyone comes from the same source. Everyone is made up of cosmic consciousness. Therefore, the energy of a bee is the same of a tree or a child. They're all of the same genetic makeup. So she can feel herself with God when she realizes that everything is an aspect of God.
Well, the higher self is saying that's just a matter of knowing that everything's connected and that everything is God. And then you can feel connected to God. And I'm wondering if all this healing isn't really necessary. You could just connect in. All this healing work to get off the hamster wheel of healing.
You can connect to the divine in whatever it is you want to do. You could be doing a mundane task or something extremely spiritual or intellectual. It's just what feels best for you. How present can you be with it?
But does healing help you to get more present? Healing these past traumas?
You might change your perception of trauma when you realize that it was an experience you wanted to have. So instead of seeing it as a trauma, you can see it as an experience. And when you can allow yourself to see the experience that you wanted from it, there's nothing to heal because you chose it. It's the rejection of the experience that perpetuates the feeling of trauma, that perpetuates the feeling of brokenness, that puts you on the hamster wheel. But when you can realize that it was just an experience without the emotional attachments, then the trauma ceases to exist because there's nothing wrong with it. It's the mind that perceives trauma. The body has memories, yes, but it is the mind that perceives it as trauma. And the mind is a fickle thing. It's very in an infantile state of evolution. You should not trust the mind. You should trust what feels good, because that's when you're connected to your spirit. And that's when you're connected to the divine.
So it seems simple, but I keep thinking about I'm doing a mundane task and I can't be fully present with it. So what is the answer to like how to get fully present and connected to the divine even in the most mundane things? What's blocking
It's
that?
your mind.
How do you get past the mind?
You become the body.
So you get more embodied.
You activate your senses. You turn into the subtleties. You breathe. The only reason someone can't be present is because their mind is telling them they need to be doing something different. Or it's thinking about a million different things. Yet the mind does that no matter what activity you do. It doesn't matter if you're doing something mundane or spiritual, the mind's going to do the same thing. Because it doesn't want you to remember your own divinity. Because it's trying to keep you safe. But when you can realize that the mind is a very infantile state, you no longer take the commands of an infant. Because you know that there's higher energies at play.
Thank you. So, what was the purpose in showing us this life as Soreya? What's her name again?
Soreya.
Soreya. Why did you show us that lifetime? What does it have to do with her life now?
To remind her that she's far greater than her human experience, that she's doing bigger work in other places, and that she is on planet Earth to help with the hybridization. She's on the grounds crew.
Is that why she feels a pull or a mission to work with children?
Yes.
So how is she going to work with these children? Is that something for right now, or is that for something much later for her to work with?
In due time. They'll be ready for her soon. And she's going to help them with their minds so that they can reshape reality and not be ruled by the underdeveloped brain. And it's not that it's underdeveloped, it's that everything in reality is cued to create chemical responses to make people act archaically. So teaching them how to chemically balance their mind and their hormones in their body so they can be the controller and not be controlled. And because children are still malleable, they can experience their own creations, and their creations can help create new realities. Adults just have more loops and workarounds. Children want to know how creative and powerful they are, whereas the adults just don't care. Or at least they don't believe, but the kids believe.
So is she not meant to teach adults, only children? Or is she going to teach adults first and then when the children are ready?
She has to learn how to work with adults to help them connect to the inner child so that they can believe. And it's almost like a prerequisite for knowing exactly how to work with children. Well, not even a prerequisite. There needs to be a level of healing in adults to be open to supporting their children.
So how can she live that now? Does she need to learn something first before she's ready to help adults?
Patience. She needs more understanding. There's a lot of frustration and disconnect with adults that doesn't allow her to have an open energy field for working with them. She doesn't see their innocence, she sees their programs. With children, she sees their innocence so she can accept them. With adults, she can't accept them because she sees their programs. So she needs more compassion. And persistence and unwavering faith. And she has to remember that she's not the only one. It's not just her job, there's many other people. She doesn't have to heal everyone or help everyone, but she has to know she is a pivotal part in it. But that she has support.
She says she has a hard time, when you say unwavering faith, has a hard time trusting. What can you tell her so that she can start to trust more?
More communication with higher beings, with Source. She needs to create relationships with her guides and spiritual team so she doesn't feel like she's alone. And as she communicates and asks for support and receives it, she'll know it to be true.
So she needs an experience then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she feels like with her third eye, that she can't see into higher dimensions and astral realms. Like, is that even true? Is that true that she can't really, she's having a hard time connecting or with her guides, or?
She's listening to her brain and not her heart.
So she can see into higher dimensions.
She can, and she gets to realize what she's doing. And acknowledge it. She's seeing many things and claiming it as normal, but she needs to realize that they are special. And there is more clearing of the pineal gland coming. She's been preparing consciously for what she's able to hold. Because once you see into higher dimensions, you see all the light and the dark. She needs to be able to hold all of it. And then neutralize it. And then she'll feel more free to navigate. Because she can handle all varying degrees of energies. But she needs to consciously choose that she's willing to see both the light and the dark, not just the light.
And it sounds like she still needs to like just have connection with her guides more than she's been.
Yeah.
And how can she do that? Is she already doing that?
To a degree, but she's afraid to connect because she's afraid that she doesn't have the support because she can't fully translate it. She needs to be persistent and patient, and she needs to make them her number one priority. That's her missing foundation. Nothing in this reality matters if you're not connected with your guides, your spiritual team, with God. Nothing else matters. You're just flailing around like a character in a simulation. But once you're connected, you can understand everything and work from the inside out instead of the outside in.
Is that how she'll enjoy and love being on planet
Thanks
Earth?
for watching, Soul Tribe. And if you'd like to check out more session stories, check out this playlist right here.
Is there
And
a
of course,
specific
subscribe
technique that you can
and like
suggest
it.
that she do to connect with